Hey guys, and welcome back to my nail journal. So this is a different video than what I usually do. It's a weird angle, it's weird lighting. We're in my lovely bathroom. Pay attention to the Christmas towel and not the blue towel. And my microphone cord isn't very long, so I'm just like all in your guys' face. So I wanted to make this video to kind of do an update on the Kiara Sky jelly tips. I have nervous tics, so sorry if I'm like constantly messing with stuff. I've had a few people ask me about them because the past couple videos I've had obviously have not been with the jelly tips on. So I wore the jelly tips for a little over a week, like maybe 9 days worth or something. So because I had such a difficult time applying the tips, I had a lot of air bubbles. So it kind of caused lifting, obviously. That's like, I hope I expressed it enough in my actual review video of the jelly tips, how important it is not to have any type of air bubbles or lifts between the tip and your natural nail, because that's going to cause lifting. And it can also cause moisture to get trapped in there, which can cause mold. Luckily, I had no greenies. There's no like mold or anything like that. But it was lifting. So I'm going to talk about like my personal experience with the tips, and then I want to talk to you a little bit about what my true opinion is. Personal experience wise, they were really difficult to apply on myself. And I think I expressed in my video when I reviewed it that is mostly a me problem. I just personally had a difficult time applying those. Some people can do it a lot better. Obviously, I've watched a lot of videos on people applying those tips and they seem to make it look super easy. For me, it was really hard. I don't know why I had such a hard time with it, but I did. The hardest thing was like just from the beginning out. The tips, for one, did not fit my natural nails very well. They were either, well, the biggest issue really was that they were all the same size and length. That was strange to me. So because they're all the same length, the thumbnail that fit my thumbnail width-wise was too short lengthwise, and the pinky nail that fit my pinky width-wise was too long lengthwise. It was really strange. They were all the same length. I don't think that these are meant for wide nail beds. I mean, I have pretty large nail beds. Probably not the widest in the world. I just spit, excuse that. But needless to say, my nails are pretty wide, and I had to use the bigger sizes of those tips. Like, I know my thumb was a 0, but because the length was too short, I had to apply that tip halfway down my nail and basically treat it like a regular plastic tip, but with a really large well. So I had to apply that halfway down my thumbs, blend the cuticle area in, and because I had to apply it halfway down, it was then really wide by the free edge. So then I had to taper that in, and then I had to apply builder gel from my cuticle down to where the tip was meeting my nail, because it would be like, that way it would be one cohesive thing of gel. So it was just really difficult with the sizing in general, and then the application was just really hard for me, period. The builder gel is really thin, which it should be for this type of application, because you want that builder gel to run underneath the tip and like fill up the whole area. So because it was thin though, and I'm so much used to like thicker gels, like for example, I use the IBD builder gel all the time to build my nails. And then the triple D builder gel is like too thick for me to like it for like adding length, but I do use that to apply like bling or something. So I'm more used to sort of like a thicker consistency, because that's typically what builder gel is. You're using it to build a nail. This is thinner, and like I said, it needs to be for this type of application, but I just was not used to that, so it was running everywhere. It was really hard to figure out the perfect amount for it to not run out of the nails, but also for it to be enough where there's not a lot of bubbles. So once you get the builder gel on there and you're pushing the tips down, you then have to hold those tips down with a very firm amount of pressure in order to keep the bubbles from coming. That was hard for me to do on myself. Also, I'm dealing with tips that aren't really fitting me all that correctly, or at least not how I'm used to them fitting me. So it was like, I don't know, doing it with one hand I think is the biggest issue that I personally had. Then the shape, I loved the actual like almond shape of them. I did apply dip powder over it, so that did bulk out the shape some. In my video they were like really bulky, but throughout the week of wearing them I did go back like 3 or 4 times to taper in the sides more, and bring the free edge more to a point, which was like, I made it more like, I basically went back in and reshaped them almost like stilettos, but then softened the top to make them more almond, but still more tapered in. Because like I said in the video, by the time I was done, the dip powder had them so bulked out, but I was so frustrated with the application that I pretty much like gave up. Like once they were on, I was like, I'm fucking done. I'm not dealing with this anymore. So I didn't like fuss over the shape like I normally would when I'm doing my nails, so they ended up looking kind of weird by the time I did the video and by the time I posted my pictures on Instagram and stuff. So like I said, they wore for about 9 to 10 days perfectly fine, all except for the lifting, and the lifting were on nails that I had a lot of bubbles in because I had trouble applying them. So besides like my personal experience with me having issues, I do think the quality of these are good. I personally think they would be easier to do on other people's nails, like in a salon setting, or if you're licensed and you're just doing at-home calls, like maybe you're just working from home with your nails. I do think that'd be easier to apply on other people because you can use 2 hands. You can use one hand to get it on there and then bring your other thumb in to hold it down with pressure, and then take this hand to grab the lamp to start flash carrying it so it stays. So I haven't tried using it on somebody else yet personally, but I do have a cousin that is a licensed nail technician. Well, she's a cosmetologist. She can do hair, nails, makeup. And I have been like talking to her to see if she wants these. I'll like sell them to her half price, and then maybe she can do my hair. Because I just do think that they would be easier to apply on other people. And if you can get the application down pat, it would be like a quick service for shaping, because I know like shapes like the almond and the stiletto can be pretty difficult, especially when you're not used to doing those. And I do think that these would be a nice quick application in a salon setting. So I'm like trying to pass it on to her. I haven't even opened the box since I did that video. They frustrated me so bad that I honestly don't want to try them again, even though in my head I know that if I was to like practice applying those more, and maybe it would become easier over time. But I just personally, like that day frustrated me so bad. I don't think I've been that frustrated with doing my own nails since probably like the first year I started. It was really aggravating. And at this point, you guys, like, I'm 28 years old. I have 3 boys and I have animals, and it's like I just don't have the time to spend that many hours on my nails. Normal, like my normal setup, my normal routine, I can get my nails done within like 2 hours at the most. It just depends on what I do, but like an hour and a half. Like I did these nails, both my hands, within like an hour and a half, and I was going really slow. I was sitting there watching Evil Lives Here, great show. I was watching that on Investigative Discovery Channel. I was like taking care of kids in between here and there. My husband was here, so he was doing most of that. I was like messaging my girlfriends to see like, should I do this? Should I add this? What color should I do? So like I wasn't rushing either. And within an hour and a half, I had them done, like top coated done. So like the frustration of trying to work with those tips because I couldn't get them to work easy, like they should be working easy. I just honestly don't want to fuss with them anymore. So I'm going to try really hard to sell them to my cousin. I think she would get the most use out of it. However, I am keeping the prep and prime because I needed a new prep. I ran out of my dehydrator. I don't have a primer right now, so I'm like, I'm going to keep those. I have had somebody comment on my video of the jelly tip review video. Somebody did comment on there and said that they suggested using the builder gel in the bottle as a way to do a gel overlay. I think that would be a genius idea. I think that'd be like a great other usage for that builder gel because it's thin, it's in the bottle, and you could use it to like encapsulate glitters and stuff. And gel is a lot easier to encapsulate than like doing multiple dips of clear dip powder, because it's more like doing clear acrylic. So I do think that would be a good idea for that. I haven't tried it yet, but I also know that I noticed that like when I was using the builder gel to actually apply the tips, I did notice that it wasn't super bubbly unless I like was letting the tips lift up and down and then air got in there, and obviously that caused bubbles. But like applying it, just simply applying it, I didn't notice it become very bubbly. Sometimes builder gel can really be bubbly pretty easily. Like, you have to be really careful how much you're moving the product around. That's any builder gel, but some are worse than others. And I didn't notice that really making very many bubbles until like I screwed it up. So I do think it would be a great way to do a gel overlay. Anyway, there's that update. I don't think I'm going to mess with them again. I don't know the future. I may one day change my mind and all of a sudden be like really great at it overnight and want to do them again. I do think that maybe if you use longer tips, it would be easier to apply because you have more to hold on to than like the shorter tips. But I just personally don't know if I want to mess with it at this point in time. So I'm going to try and like sell my kit. I only used it that one time. And I sanitize and do all that, so like it's all okay. And I have put it in my box exactly how they had it packaged when they sent it to me, and like that's exactly how it's been sitting. It's just in the box. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys an update because I had a couple people asking me about it, and so I just figured I'll just film an update instead of typing out an explanation over and over again in the comment section. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram too. It's at Kayla's Nail Journal, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!